I think being from the north, you fight or you play football or you drink and listen to music. It's like, get on top. Come on.
Beautiful, let's go.
So can you imagine 22,000 people in the Boston Celtics TD Gardens? Think, oh, why am I doing this? Why have I picked this as my career? Oh my God.
Joe presents From the Corner, brought to you by DAZN. Hello and welcome back to From the Corner, the heavyweight champion of boxing shows, with me, David Aloka.
And me, Swazi McKelly. This weekend is a massive weekend of fights on DAZN, and so we've got a big show lined up for you today.
That's right, we have not one, not two, but 3 exclusive interviews with boxers that will be fighting this Saturday night at the M&S Bank Arena in Liverpool.
We'll be speaking to Conor Benn and Chris Algieri ahead of their fight, which is going to be big for this Saturday night.
Plus, we'll be talking to the absolute legend that is Katie Taylor as she puts her undisputed lightweight titles on the line against Fariza Sharapova, also on the same card.
I definitely expect me a big fight, and she's obviously in there to take all my belts home, but I'm not obviously going to let that happen.
We'll be reviewing all the action from last weekend and finishing the show strong with the headband challenge. But before we get into all of that, let's welcome on our guests.
That's right, in the red corner, we have a natural-born fighter who was undefeated as an amateur boxer. She now plies her trade as a mixed martial artist in the UFC.
And in the blue corner, we got someone swaggy. We got someone who is known as one of Britain's best dressed, and he's dropping his 4th solo album, Change the Show.
That's right, ladies and gents, put your hands together for Molly McCann and Miles Cage. Yes.
That energy.
Yeah.
Come on.
Bring it on.
I
was hyped. I was getting ready. I was like, come on.
How are you guys?
All right.
Yeah,
very
very
nice
well.
to be in the big smoke.
It's so nice to have you both. Molly, you're the first female guest on the show. Welcome. It's amazing.
As well.
Oh, my days. Well, yeah, like you said, it's good to have you guys. You previously used to box. How was that transition or change over into the UFC?
It wasn't easy, I'll tell you that much. From starting in a very amateur style, very side-on, big, nice high guard. When you switch over to MMA, you need to be more square on, otherwise you get the legs kicked out from you, or you just get taken down with these takedowns. So I must have spent about 2 years just constantly on my back from getting my leg kicked out or wrestlers just taking me down. But I'm on top now, so it's all good. Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. Every week on this show, we're always bigging up the women, always bigging up female sport as well. But what was your journey in like a matter of minutes or so? How did you get into the sport?
I used to play football, started off with that. I won't even say which team. Not going there. But yeah, I was playing football, and then whilst I was playing football, I was at college, and the college course I was on had boxing as the sport he was using. So I ended up doing a bit of boxing with the head Australian national coach now called Kevin Smith. And then, like I was saying to you before, I was boxing out to the gym with the likes of Anthony Fowler, Jazza Dickens, Blaine Highland. There was loads of us, to be honest. And then I won an ABA, and I thought, oh my God, I'm going to get me England vest, get me call up, fight for GB. And then my weight category didn't get added to the Olympic Games. So I thought, well, what do I do now? So I went to university, studying to be a teacher. And then at uni, literally stumbled out of a pub back home and watched the UFC and watched Ronda Rousey fight. And I literally Googled like MMA gyms by me. This is like 5 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday. And then I've sent a message to my now coach. Hiya, mate. Just seen Ronda Rousey on telly. I want to be just like her.
Wow.
Are you still doing sessions? Can I come down? And next day went into uni, said I'm not going back to uni and I'm just going to do MMA full time. I'd even
Look
done,
at this story,
I'd even
man.
done one
incredible.
class.
That's a movie.
Nobody
It is.
ready. I've walked into uni and I've said to my lecturer, Lou, I'm not coming back in. She's like, you're writing your dissertation. What are you going on about? I was going, no, I'm going to do this UFC. Didn't even know it was called MMA. Do you know what I mean? And she was going, how long have you been doing this for? I haven't even heard you talk about it. When my first class is tonight, she's like, get out of the me off. Anyway, went into the first class. My coach, Paul Rimmer, was like, right, what's your goals? What do you want to do? I said, I want to like be good at this class first. I said, but want to be a world champion, want to be fight in my hometown, want to fight in the UFC. And anyway, in the matter of the day I sent that email, it's date and stamped, 5 years to that day, I headlined the M&S Bank Arena
Look
for
at
a
this.
world title,
Come
and then got signed
5
to the
years,
UFC.
not-
5
Come
years.
Come on, man. You
Come
gotta
on.
love
No,
stories.
that is a
Hey.
film, lad.
It is.
You can do the
Oh
sound.
my! Yeah, I'll do that. Better than my story. Mine's like, got a guitar, wrote some tunes. Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah.
But jumping over to music, and we know music and sport will always
Yeah.
go hand in hand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So your story now, 4th album on the way. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Where did it begin?
Yeah, well, my auntie bought me a guitar, and there was no looking back then, really. And I just, it was just something I always wanted to do. You know, I'd be in school, I'd always be daydreaming, listening to sort of Oasis and stuff like that. And it was my sort of escape to get out and better myself, really. And I just wanted to be a guitarist for the start. And then when I was about 18 and 19, I'd been in a couple of bands. And then I wanted to be a frontman, basically. So I just, like, you know, forced myself to sing and taught myself and used to shout. And, yeah, I'm still not quite there, but it's a lot better than what it was. Like,
What about your relationship with boxing and fight sports?
I mean, I'm just so into it. You know what I mean? Like, for me, it started with WWE as a kid.
Tell 'em.
I know, don't
touch me.
no, but I like the theatrics of that.
Yes.
But then as when about 16, 17, really got into boxing, and I'm just like obsessed with it. That's my go-to sport that I watch. Really, like, I'm into footy and stuff, but I kind of get super excited for like the fights and stuff. Do you know what I mean?
I think being from the north, you fight or you play football or you drink and listen to music. It's one of them three. Do you know what I mean?
Well, we've got best of both
It's
worlds.
Yeah, I've got
Yeah.
the fight in the drink and the music.
No, that's perfect because we're about to play one of your tracks, and it's a new track as well, working with the one and only Corinne Bailey Ray. First of
Is
all,
it?
what was that like?
Yeah, well, she's unbelievable. You know, we've known each other for a long time. She
Yeah.
did some singing on my first record. She did like the harmonies and BVs, and then we didn't speak for a few. You know, you sort of lost contact a bit, and then a couple of years ago, I'd had a few wines in the kitchen, and I was a bit like Judy Garland, swanning around with a fag and a wine. And one of her tunes came on, so I texted her, and I was like, "Oh, forget that tune's amazing of yours, Paris Nights. Like, how are you?" Anyway, rekindled our friendship. We started sending each other's demos and new ideas
Was
and
it
stuff.
nudes?
Yeah, yes,
Sending each other. She was like, what?
yeah. Songs and then we ended up doing this tune together, and you know, it turned out amazing. It's like the icing on the cake for my album, so
Yeah.
it really fits in, and it's a special little moment, you know.
Yeah, well, it is real special. And we're really glad to play this clip next from your track, Nothing Is Ever Good Enough. Let's take a look at this. Can I just say, the casting on that is A1. Like, I would believe that was your younger self.
I know, yeah. Lisa, the director, she pulled it out the bag there. It's amazing, isn't it? I looked at it, I was like,
She's like,
what did we do 10 years ago?
absolutely brilliant. But I want to come back to you real quick. When can we expect to see you back in the octagon again?
I've signed the contract, don't know if I'm allowed to say, but I'll just say towards the end, just think close to Paddy's Day, and hopefully...
My birthday,
Is
17th
it?
of March.
Is it really?
Yeah, that's why she did
There
it.
you go. Yeah.
Yeah, just for
Liverpool.
you, lad. Hopefully it's over these shores, but if not, it'll probably be back in America. I think it's just all down to COVID, to be honest. but
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you prefer fighting over here?
As long as there's a crowd, I don't really care. Like, I've been really fortunate to fight in Boston, in Vegas, and in London, in Liverpool. Like,
The entrances, the ring walks.
Yeah,
Do you
for-
love it?
yeah.
I love the theatric. That gets me hyped.
I fought in Boston, which is predominantly Irish.
Yes.
And I come out to the Cranberries, Zombies. So can you imagine 22,000 people in the Boston Celtics TD Gardens? I've walked out and they're all going, "What's in your head?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, that. Because, like, you walk into a fight and your head's gone because you're thinking, oh, why am I doing this? Why have I picked this as my career? Oh, my God. And then, like, you've half got a front that
And
you're,
then
like,
it's
buzzing
almost
to
like
be
you're on
there.
stage, you're like performing a song or something. It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah,
to walk
like,
out?
are you, like, does your hand start shaking before you've got to, like, strum the guitar?
Yeah,
I'm like
I
that
need
before
to
I've got to
warm up. Or
punch someone's head
sometimes
in.
I'll get cramp, and then I've been like strumming like this. Yeah.
Music and boxing will always overlap. But if you had to happen to be a boxer, what would be your walkout song? This is a good one for you.
Don't know. I'd probably go for like a disco tune, like Hot Stuff or Donna Summer or something like that.
Yeah.
A disco anthem, and just come out on like gliding.
I'm still waiting to come out to Elton John, to be fair.
I'm Still Standing.
I'm still standing, yeah.
That's a
good
good,
choice.
yeah, that's a
Or I
good
want to-
choice. Welterweight hotshot Conor Benn is looking to end the year very strong against seasoned veteran Chris Algieri this Saturday in Liverpool.
That's right. We caught up with the Destroyer and his opponent, Chris Algieri, earlier this week, and they're both sounding like men on a mission. Roll the tape.
Fight camp's been one of the best camps by far. I mean, I know all fighters say that, but this really has been such a great camp. And, after every fight, there's always room for improvements, and the improvements are always drastic. If you watch my old fights, my last fight, I ain't the same fighter no more. That's how quick I grow. So, we're always working, we're always evolving, and we're always learning, and therefore we're able to grow. I see Algieri talking as if the fight is heavily in his favour and his experience is going to play a massive part, and I'm not there yet. Well, we'll find out. He's gone and said I ain't been tested yet. Well, every test I've put in front of me, I've blown them out of the park. So there's only so much I can do. The fights that I have had were supposed to test me, and they haven't. So let's see if Algieri can. I'll let my hands do the talking.
It's a big opportunity. It's a good challenge, and Conor Benn is young and he's hungry and he wants to take that next step. And I think I can beat him. So the fight came up and we said, why not? I'm known as a boxer, but I'm strong enough to keep these guys off me. I'm more of a boxer puncher than I get credit for. So for me to be able to use my length, my skills, my being smooth, maybe my defense, I get hit very little in fights. I have my whole career. So it's, and on top of it, I'm tough. And when I do get hit, I can take a shot. So these are the kind of guys that basically my career's been made on.
I just think Conor's mindset, everything he does, he leaves his family, he goes and takes himself away, no comforts, no nothing like that. He just wants success. And I think his opponent is kind of over the hill. He's always got the mastery in the ring because he'll always know how to, he's got that experience on his side. But the way he's speaking in the interview, to me, nothing's clinical, nothing's like he's going to finish Conor. It's just a little bit like
He's just there.
he's just here for
take part, like
yeah. He's not here to take, like, I know the cliche to take over, but I just don't think he is. So my prediction would be, I think Ben will get the finish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How far do you think Ben can go? Do you like him? Do you like his
I
style?
like Ben a lot. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And like, he seems like a really nice guy. We had a little message on Insta, a bit of respect going on and that. So I'd like to see him go all the way. Do you know what I mean? I think he's got it, and I do believe that he wants it. I believe him when he's in his zone, he bigs himself up. But for me, I believe him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I hope he does go all the way and prove any doubt was wrong for sure. Like.
Well, Molly, your nickname is Meatball, right?
First of all, can we get this story, please? Can we unpack that? What's going on?
So when I was at uni, I didn't get a student loan to get through. So I had to work my way through it. So I used to work at Subway. So I'd do the night shift on a Thursday.
Bowl Street?
No, Ranley Street. So by Central Station. And I'd be saving. I'd be saving 11 till 7, go home, come straight back to the gym for 9, and then go to uni straight after. But moral of the story is I used to go in the gym, and I remember one day my coach was like, what's that smell? And I was like, oh, it's me. And then you smell like meatballs. And that was it. But when I go to America, everyone goes, you just look like a little meathead. So that's why they thought
All
I was
right.
It's time to play a game next. And Meatball, you are definitely the inspo for this one.
Oh, my days.
Is it an eating contest?
No, it's not bush trucker trial. None of that. No, thank you.
We're going to read out a list of mouth-watering monikers, and you're going to tell us whether or not they are real boxers' nicknames. the pair of you are going to work together on this. So, you know what I mean? There's a little bit of conferring
Teamwork.
that can happen in it.
Teamwork. Okay, so you got to work out, is this the real deal or a made-up meal? Number one,
Oh, look at you.
butterbean.
That's the
Real,
real one because
real.
I played him
Yeah.
on Knockout Kings.
Yeah, butterbean big fella.
Yeah,
American.
bald.
We've
yeah.
gone in too easy.
Come
We've
on,
gone in
we have gone in too
easy.
easy.
Do not
Yeah.
make
Yeah.
fun.
Okay, all right. Okay.
1-0. 1-0.
Okay, French fry.
Name it.
Yeah, it can't be. Yeah.
Swerve that one now.
Yeah,
You
no.
better hope it's not real.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
yeah.
no.
You look at no?
Yeah.
Correct.
Well
It is
done.
close. Come on.
Okay, number 3, gravy train.
100% real.
Yeah, real.
Defo.
Yeah?
That sounds like some Alabama nate, like
sounds
Midwest.
whatever it is,
Some
yeah.
Midwest.
Midwestern.
Yeah.
The name is still up for grabs because it's false. It's not
Is
real.
it? Oh, mate.
But I love the conviction. You went
Yeah,
straight
you know
in.
what I mean?
That's
I
it.
was sold. I was with.
All right, number 4, the lobster.
Oh, lad, you have a go because I
God.
fluffed the last one.
Nah, no, I'm saying no.
You're saying no?
Yeah. Oh, it is someone is the lobster.
It is true.
Aye.
Ronald the Lobster Thermidor.
Oh,
Oh, Thermidor.
is that his last name?
Yes.
Thermidor?
I get that from the San Carlo as well. Mm.
Some of these are pretty good, to be fair.
Up next, lamb chop.
I want it to be real.
I feel like in up north, if you've got sideburns like that, they call them pork chops.
Yeah.
Deals it a lamb
yeah,
chop.
lamb chop.
Yeah, we'll go in with that.
Yeah. so,
Real?
yeah.
Fluffed
False.
it again.
Close, though. I love the sideband analogies. It's okay.
In a pickle.
Definitely not heard this one, but
Something in the pickle, lady.
fighting out of Philadelphia.
Don't look at me, 'cause I'll get in trouble.
Yeah, let's go with in the pickle because I'm feeling I'm in a pickle
I
right now. In the pickle.
I love your optimism. I love it.
It's
But it's
not
false.
false.
Oh my God! Yeah. I'm too famous fantasy.
Don't worry, we're doing the headband challenge at the end of this. So there's ways to gain
There's
points.
redemption. There's redemption.
Oh,
Okay,
God.
this last one. This one is easy. The Turkish delight.
No, that's definitely real.
Yeah, it's gotta be real.
Yeah,
man.
delight. You're right.
Gotta
It's
be,
true.
yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
Orhan Turkish delight de labas. Well, all of that. I'm very hungry at the end of that. So for you, Molly, after a big night out, after a big fight and a big win, what's your go-to
I tell you
meal?
what my go-to is, right? I don't even go out. We all go back to the Fighters Hotel. I order chicken wings,
Yeah.
pizza,
Do you like hot
and
wings?
pink gin.
Yeah.
No.
No.
I'm proper Irish tongue. Barbecue sauce.
Not buffalo or anything.
No.
No.
Maybe if I've got blue cheese sauce.
Have a little dip. take
Yeah.
the edge off.
Yeah.
Cheeky dip.
Yeah. So you'll just see me flying around, just buzzing with like a pink gin and a chicken wing, and that is just me.
Well, we got to ask you, after your post-fight interview went viral, you said you could not wait to have a bevy. And we all know what kind of drink you went for. But let's take a listen to this.
I just want a bevy, lads. I'm buzzing. I'm buzzing. That was proper on accident.
It's me before every gig. that.
Isn't it? So I had done. So this fight, if I lost, that was me out of the UFC. If I win, I knew I was back top 15 in the world. So it was like, it was that make or
Yeah.
break. I had a torn PCL, a torn LCL in my knee. So I think you've got 4 ligaments and 2 of mine were like off skis.
Oh my
I had a broken knuckle. And I had all the pressure in the world. And I had an opponent who had a 10-inch reach advantage on me. And I just got in there and just muftied it everywhere, right? And at the end of it, he put his arm around me and I was like, I just want a bevy, lad.
We had the absolute privilege of catching up with the queen of boxing, Katie Taylor, as she prepares for her undisputed lightweight showdown against Fariza Sharapova. Here's what the champ had to say.
One of the biggest things for me is being a role model for the next generation. And I think even looking at the progress of women's boxing since I have turned pro, we're seeing women's boxing on every single show right now. It's not unusual anymore. And I think that's absolutely incredible. And we're seeing these female fighters as genuine household names now, which is fantastic. And that for me is being the highlight of these last few years. But just having an impact on the next generation and seeing some of these young girls come up who are going to be absolute superstars in the sport. I'm just so excited to watch their futures progress and to see what they're going to do in the future. It's such an exciting time for women's boxing. And my preparation for this fight has been fantastic. I feel like I've been working long and hard. I only had a week off, I think, after my last fight, and I came straight back over to America to start preparing for the next one. So it feels like it's been a long camp. Things are going really well. I'm so excited to finish the year off with a great performance and another big night in Liverpool. So I can't wait. I feel like Sharapova is absolutely a fantastic fighter. She has obviously a great amateur background. She is one of my mandatories. She wouldn't be a big name outside of in the boxing world, I don't think, but I'm definitely expecting a big fight, and she's obviously in there to take all my belts home, but I'm not obviously going to let that happen. I feel like I have prepared long and hard, as I said, for this fight, and I just can't wait to step in and produce a great performance. And my mentality for every single fight is always the same for me. I feel like I go into most fights as a favourite, but I don't see myself as a favourite or the underdog. I just see myself as a fighter, just like anybody else stepping into the ring. I'm training as hard as I can. I don't cut any corners in training. And I obviously, this is an important fight for me because there's some big fights lined up for next year, so I have to get by this fight, and I have to get by in a convincing and great fashion as well.
Molly, as we were watching that, I saw you looking at her with absolute stars in your eyes.
Yeah.
What does she represent for you?
She's the trailblazer for us all. Here and the likes of Natasha Jonas, who's from Liverpool, and they've had many fights. Just need to make sure I get Tash in there because she's also a trailblazer. But everything about her story, the way she's just showed so much professionalism, even in the face of adversity, when stuff went wrong personally with her coaching staff, and she had to walk away from family members, and she had to walk away from the amateur game, and then she just went out and just made professional sport, like professional combat sport. She was the figurehead and the pioneer of, like, she's just next level, and I can't say any more better words about her. And
she's yet humble but so confident in herself as well. How important is it to get that balance?
Sometimes it's I think she's overly humble and doesn't need to sell herself, because her fighting does do that, but obviously sometimes that doesn't always work. But honestly, I've met her and a mum and a manager, and I was just like, I couldn't even speak, and she's like, do you like the boxing? And she's talking, and I was just like, oh my God. Like, I'd been out the night before, and I was like, I've just met me hero, and the reason I do is because of you, do you know what I mean? And
yeah.
No, go on.
No. I was going to ask you, anyone in the music scene who's really inspired you, super humble, but anyone that you've met along your journey?
I mean, yeah, anyone, like, you know, my heroes like Gallagher, like Liam and Paul Weller.
You're
and
not
stuff.
humble.
No, but when you meet them, and with me, they have been.
Oh,
they've been like, especially like Weller, like, you know, he sort of, even from when I was younger, you know, took me under like that, and, you know, give me advice, and like giving me, when you're young and you're still figuring out what kind of artist or who you want to be as a person, you know what I mean? You're still sort of, you're trying things, and he would always encourage me to try it, to figure it out, and to not be scared of it not working, or, you know, just to express yourself how you feel at that time. And I think by going through that gives you longevity. And when you get it off someone like that you look up to like that, it's a beautiful thing. And now that I'm a bit older, when I see younger artists, you know what I mean? It's like, and I can see myself in them. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I'm just passing on what I learned, and it's nice to see it.
Presuming she dispatches with Sharapova on Saturday night, do you think we're going to get the fight that everybody wants to see?
Well, I'm really good friends with Chantel Cameron, and I'd really like to see that one. Like, she's fighting she's got a world title anyway, hasn't she? But she's fighting for the unification next year. And I just think that they should make that one happen, because if Chantel gets all the belts and then she's got all the other belts, and then they just do this big fight, but then I'm not sure, is it Serrano who's in the mix? I think they're talking on the Serrano fight, aren't they? And I still think she dispatches Serrano like quite easily. I think the size difference and just how much overall experience she'll have.
And in terms of UFC, how would Katie get on?
Well, this is what we spoke about. I said, you'd clean up, and she's like, none of that kicking for me. You go from being so good at one sport to coming back, and you're absolutely... It'd be like you playing the guitar your whole life and then having to go and learn the piano or an accordion, and you're like, oh. Like, you're half like the way of reading music, you'll be able to transfer, but you'd still be like, what's this called? What's that? Do you know what I mean? And it's the same kinds of things. So.
Yeah.
We saw some outstanding performances on the zone and around the world of boxing last weekend, including the epic fight between Devin Haney and Jojo Diaz Jr. for the WBC lightweight title. Play the highlights.
Here we go. 12 rounds for the WBC lightweight title. national champion in the amateurs.
That for such a young fighter.
There's that uppercut. He landed it a handful of times.
Good body shot.
If I were fighting Devin Haney, that's exactly what I would do.
Look at Diaz being the boss here in the fourth.
Out that guard of Diaz landing those shots.
Big shot.
Left hook caught him.
Full-time shot. Haney at that.
Is he going to unload?
He needs to be mindful of that.
Oh, big uppercut, and that forces JoJo backwards. And this might be the moment for Devin Haney.
And still, the WBC lightweight champion of the world, Devin the Dream Haney.
Big fight. Miles, what did you think? What was your
It was
takeaway?
incredible, you know what I mean? But Haney did get caught, we were saying earlier, with a couple of shots there. And if they're going to make that super fight with Kambosos, which is what I'd love to see.
Why? Why would you love to see it?
I was just so, I loved how Kambosos was with that in the Lopez fight last Saturday. I thought that was an incredible fight, you know what I mean? And I think all that build up before and the way Lopez and his dad were, you know what I mean? They they teed themselves up to fall, really, didn't they? Do you know what I mean?
Massively.
But I think Haney and Kambosos would be an absolute screamer. Like,
Talk to me. The lightweight division right now in boxing is absolutely stellar. It's littered with so many great fighters, so many names. Do you think it's now cheering boxing at the moment?
Yeah, I feel like sometimes it can go a bit stale, and then sometimes you need like a division to come alive. Like boxing was going stale for me, and then Canelo and Triple G like brought it back a little bit, you know what I mean? And I think with other combat sports thriving, you need to make sure that these big fights are happening, people aren't ducking each other, and it's just unify the belts and let it go. But right now it's all going off, isn't it?
More energy to see real soon. Okay, it's time for my favourite part of the show, and possibly the part that I think that you guys have come for as well. It's time for the headband challenge.
Woo! Time to get your eyes on the prize. We're going to bring out the headband. All you've got to do is hit it as many times as you can in 30
that one.
seconds.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can we have one practice run or what?
No.
No, straight in. 30 seconds. Let's do this. It's time for the show that we have been waiting for. It's time for the headband challenge. Look at that.
we're on the same team.
Sorry, we're same team.
All right, guys, the score to beat is 59. Go.
Okay. 2, 3, go.
Come on.
Get on top. Come on.
Beautiful. Let's go.
2, 3, come on.
17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 20, 21.
Beautiful.
Private shot. Put your tongue away.
How many seconds left?
10 seconds.
Come on then, come on. 1, 2, 3.
50, 54,
Beautiful. 5 seconds. Let's go.
59, 60.
Come on,
Yes!
let's go.
36. Yeah!
Stop. We got a new record in the house.
That's all we have time for. We want to say thank you very much to the lady who's at the top of the leaderboard. It's Molly and Miles in the house. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Listen, guys, remember to watch this on the Joe YouTube channel and wherever it is you get your podcast. This has been From the Corner, brought to you by Joe and The Zone. We'll see you again next time. You've been listening to From the Corner, brought to you by Joe and The Zone.